Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, welcome to I forgot the words to say. To the second to last reading wrap up of 2025. Feels kind of weird because technically I'm filming this on November 30th, so the day before November 1st, and just thinking about that, like, you know, I was looking at the last year. This year it's definitely been a learning experience, a blessing. I'm really grateful for it. It was a learning experience. It was great. Now I'm ready for get December over with and start 2026 fresh, Saturday, ready for the new year. You know, but so yeah, like I said earlier, today is going to be my November reading wrap up. I was thinking to myself like, I think I put on my phone. I think I put December, not November. Are you kidding me? Yep, I put December instead of November. It's November the Avery, not December. Because if it would have been December, Christmas already happened, which Thanksgiving just happened. Guys, I'm just like, because technically right now I'm currently on my last day of Thanksgiving break, which is sad. But luckily, I only have 3 weeks. It's weird how they made our schedule because the calendar because basically what happened is, which it's been this way for the past I think 2 years, maybe before that. But basically, Thanksgiving, we get out a week from Thanksgiving. So we get out like the last week of, we go back on December 1st. So we get out of Thanksgiving for a week, the last week of November, and then we go back to school for 3 weeks, and then we go back on Christmas break. For Christmas, we get 2.5 weeks off, which is crazy. Kind of weird. I don't know. I like it though, because it kind of like, I know, I just realized we have 15 days of school days left before Christmas break, which technically the last week of school for me is exams. So technically the last week, technically, I tell myself just to make myself feel better because I'm not really excited to go back tomorrow. Like, I went on a trip during Thanksgiving break. I went to Universal Investment, which is a great experience. I loved it, but it was just a lot, and it took. I, I don't know. I wish I could have those days back. Not those days back. I just want those. Not this that amount of days to do nothing. Technically, I left. I went to my best friend's house I spent the night with my best friend Friday night, and then we left on Saturday morning, and we were there from Saturday night to we left Wednesday morning at like 8 something, and we didn't get home until 2:30, like almost 3 o'clock, and then so today I was gone until Wednesday, and Thanksgiving was the day after that, so I was with my mom, and I went to a Thanksgiving and my family's Thanksgiving. And then I went home Thanksgiving night because I was just like, I'm over it. I just need something. And 3 days was not enough. 3 days was good enough. Like, 3 days was good, but I was like, I just need the 7 days, the 4 days back. Can you just give those 5 days back? Can you give me those? So I already know, like, I anticipate these next 3 weeks to be chaos, crazy, all over the place. Like, I am just like, because I know every year's trying to get the last grades in, teach, because they have to review for the exams, all of this, because I'm really hoping that we don't have to take, I think I know I'm going to have to take math, I think I'm going to have to take science and maybe history, because basically, you could get them if you have good grades and if you have low absences, which I know I have 4 for English, and not 4 for English. I'm hoping I don't have to take English this year. English, I take English last year for second semester, but I'll be grateful when I don't have to. Because English, although I love reading, but I don't like English at all. Like, I don't like grammar. I don't like anything. Like right now, Holy Night by Ellie. She's a Holocaust survivor, and this book is just that. And I think we're gonna finish it tomorrow. And I have a test on Wednesday, I think, for her. I think she said. And then I'll probably have. I don't even know. I'm excited, of course I am, but like, why do I used to be the girl that like I know myself and I know I'm gonna be like begging when summer gets here. Like I am the definition. I love school. School is like my like since I was like in kindergarten, I have loved school. Like I've always wanted to go to school. But the older I get, the more I'm just like, can we just like get it over with? Like I'm a sophomore. I'm a 10th grader, and I have 2 years left of school. And knowing that, I have to go 4 more years after this, I'm just like, oh, good gravy. I'm not really just like, and I know that's in the future. Like I literally just turned 16, and I'm just like, oh, good gravy, Avery. So yeah, it's good. And then they just told us so we have dress up days from like from tomorrow to the 12th or something. Which one of those days is pajama day, which no matter what. And then I think it's an ugly sweater, which mine is not technically ugly. It has buggies on it. It has the logo of buggies on it because I bought it 2 weeks, like a month ago. When we were for my old brother's tournament, because every place we go and we're close to buggies, we usually shop for buggies because that's what we got really good. But so yeah. No, yeah, I think it's time to finally get into, I just needed like to like, you know, because I feel like this year has definitely been a learning curve and definitely I don't know how to describe it, but like I've always been the person that has quality over quantity. No, quantity over quantity. Like I can't remember. Like I always choose shorter books to read. I don't even know how to describe it, but like right now my reading goal is 95 books. I've read 87. 87. So technically that means I have to read 8 books next month. I think they have a new Noah series for the Amazon Originals, which I'll probably read that. I'm currently in the middle of 4 books right now. I'm in the middle of Alchemist, Beartown, Moon Moon Hatch, and I'm currently doing my reread of the DC Story series because Sin Bin comes out like from 5 days from now. Which guys, I just made because I have a whole Christmas look like my birthday. I love like I'm so creative with whatever I got. But like so basically what I do for Christmas for family members, I just make Amazon lists. It's just easier for them because guys, all I ask for Christmas is like I was literally making my because tomorrow's Cyber Monday, so everyone's trying to get deals. Everyone's trying to buy whatever. Well, I was looking because so I if you look at my Amazon wish list for like my parents wish list, like my mom, my stepmom, my dad, like I already told them like they were not gonna like me because 13 out of the whole list books is one series, and that you might want to know what that series is. Oh, that's the Like Us series by Kristen and Becca Ritchie. I didn't realize how long that series was until I looked, and I hate those covers. Like, I only had one cover of the exclusive edition, and I found another one. That was like the 6 books in the series, and I was like, oh my goodness. I said I was gonna book it because I have this series on display, so I might have to like change whenever if I get that series, if I get the whole series, because I got the bad representation duet because I like that cover more than that has both of the books in it. Has whatever those books are. Which I looked at, I was like, because I know the series that they just made, the first book in the series that just started. I was like, I'm not. So yeah, and then for my mom also, I put because I have really never read Twilight. I have tried to read Twilight multiple, like I think I've tried to read it 3 times, and the last time I read it, I gave it 2.5. And I saw Allie Goodman read the series. I think she read it, and I found a box set with all the books in it. I said, okay, I'll give it one more shot, one more. I'll probably read it again, probably read it now, and then I'll read it again when I'm in my 20s, whatever. And let's see if I love it or hate it. One more time, has all the books, just, And then I asked for the House of Devil series, which, that series, I think I saw Mariana. Mariana. What's one? Later, one of Lisa's friends. Rihanna? No, I'm gonna try to say it. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I asked for the Grim Oro book, which is from Alex Astor, and then I asked for Crowd Town, which doesn't come out until like the beginning of December. And I asked for Fearful because that's the only I haven't read that yet, and that came out 3 months ago. And then I asked for Descendant, which is the next book, the last next book in the DC Stars. So I have a good writer, and I did ask for The Defender by Anna Long because I read the Striker reading this year, which, so yeah. So yeah. I really thought, oh, let's just get started. And then I've been talking for 11 minutes straight, and I told myself, you have to make it under an hour so you don't have to make this, So yeah. So let's just get on to right into it, and let's get in with some monthly stats. I read 5 books this month. I read 2,109 pages this month. I read 5. Technically, I have 5 physical, but technically, right here, I read. Technically, I read 1 on Kindle, but I have the physical copy of now. And then there's one that I read physically, but I don't have the physical copy anymore because school's library. So technically, almost all of these were read physically, except for. I think I read them all physically. No, I read Burke and Play on. So yeah, so I read, and they were all romances, which, what type of, but yeah. So let's get right into it. Which I will say, this was a really good rating month for me, but it was all romances, and romances is my comfort genre. Like that's my favorite. So yeah. So the first book I read this month was Broken Play by Peggy Riley. She's a book talker. Well, I've seen her on TikTok post about her, and I remember she talked a lot about, I think, the series City Slayer by Megan Brandon. I saw her, the main TikTok I would see by her was about the Boys of Adolf series. And I've tried to read this book before actually getting through it. And I don't know why it took me so long, because this is about Jax Riley and, no, Jax, why did I say Jax Riley? Jackson Montgomery and Madison Blake. Basically, I wouldn't say this is like childhood. Like, they weren't lovers, but they were like best friends, basically. Like, I will tell you, if you have, like, basically our female main character struggles. She always pushes everyone away, and she basically, has never, like, what, is there content words in here? Yes, this book contains themes and elements that will be discussed into some readers. Please does mental health struggles, depression, anxiety. So basically, her mom. I can't really tell you because it's kind of like a spoiler. But if you have grief of like a parent and alcoholism, it basically puts. And this is I remember I gave this 4.75 stars because always said I don't really um childhood, but I think ever since I've read Wind It Back by Lynn Song, which is the last book in the Windy City series, I've actually been liking them more. I don't really know how to describe it. And I said, you know, because basically your childhood friends, I would say childhood best friends, and basically says, I'm months away from the NFL draft. From the future I've looked so hard for, except none of it matters without her. Madison Blake has always been it for me. My best friend, my biggest what, the only girl I've ever loved. One broken voicemail that all it took for me to drop everything and come running. She doesn't remember calling, but now that she knows why I'm here, she's running faster than ever. Jackson Montgomery was supposed to be mine. I spent years convincing myself he was better off without me, but now I think it's true. He's here because of me, because I asked him, because he has never been the one to walk away. The thought of choosing him would only make ends in heartbreak. But the real mistake was believing he wouldn't choose me back. Basically, she feels like she always. I don't know how to describe this, but Madison has a lot of. She has, you know, and I feel like it's defeating. I don't know. But I actually really love this. I love when there's like past. I don't like reading about the past, but I like when there's like. But this, I feel like when I am obsessed when a guy is gone for the goal, when the guy is like obsessed with her, like if you were to see every book, one of my favorite books of like, you would see all the books that I would read. If you were to look at all the books that I've read in my lifetime and see the ones my favorites were, most of them, most likely are he falls first or he falls harder. Because I don't know, I'm a little obsessed with it. Like when they're gone, and it definitely gave it a feeling. And I don't know, it was just I don't know if I was just in the mood for this or I don't know how to rate this. I feel like it's either a 4.75 or 4.5. I think this is definitely going to be a 5-star series because I had Place Tape, which is the third book, which I'm really interested in that book because of we got to see the mailman character a lot in this book, which I'm confused because he's talked about in maybe in the first book too. I don't know. I can't really tell you. I don't know. I think that book is like fake dating, which I think I know the female one character too. I might saw that site depending on how I feel. I don't know. We'll see. Because the last book in the series comes out in January of this year. No, next year. So I'm actually really excited. I am gonna be sad when the series does end though. I feel like if I were to do a top series of 2025, it would be mostly sports romances. I have definitely found my comfort romance trope or genre. Like, you have romance, but there's a lot of sub romance topics, and I think sport is definitely up there, or emotional trauma, or whatever. So yeah, 4.75. Really enjoyed it, loved the characters. This is emotional. Like you definitely can tell she has issues, well, not issues, but like she likes to push everyone away, and you definitely. I remember reading this book, and I remember I got to the point where they were like together, and there's something that happens that like makes them not like And I was like, oh good God. Like I feel emotional agony because of that. But yeah, so 4.75 really do it. Will be probably a god tier series because of this book and because of the other two. So yeah, the next book I read was Fall with Me by Megadeth. This is book 4 in the Playing for Keeps series. This is everyone's top series, which is definitely mine. I gave the first book 4, which is me, because Play With Me, I gave 4.75, and I gave Unravel Me 4.75. This is about Jackson Rowley, and I don't know, I can't really pronounce. I don't know if it's lemon. I don't know. Basically, this is a one night stand. They have a one night stand, and basically they would like they fought. It was supposed to be a one night stand, but if they can't leave it in the past, basically she is a runaway bride, and when they meet, basically they meet on her honeymoon, basically, and that's when all it happens, And then I think it goes like, eventually she comes back to. She basically starts over the new series, the new city, and she basically gets a job as the photographer, new photographer for the series Vancouver Vipers, which is the team that Jackson's on. I think that was why I was calling him Jackson Rowley, was because his name is after Jackson Rowley. I don't know. And basically, she's a team photographer. And basically, you know. So yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like I think this is one of my least favorite, just because I don't really know what I was expecting. I feel like I was nervous for this book because I don't know. Cause basically, I feel like I can't really tell you a subplot, but like basically the things he did, he was cute. They were cute. I loved them. I just didn't get the feelings that I have when I've read the other two, and especially the last one. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I felt. Of course, I felt those emotions when cute stuff was happening, but I was only caring when the romance was like. I don't really have to. I liked it. I loved it still, because this is a part of my favorite series of 2026, 2025. But I don't know. I think yes, in character aspects, yes, they're one of my favorite couples. But in book form, I don't think so. I've always said I really hope one day that this series, the DC Stars, I know the off-campus series is becoming a series on they all need to become a TV show, a movie, something, because I feel like because I feel like this is known for you know, I don't know how to describe it, but so yeah, give it 4.25. I don't even know. I think I enjoy it maybe. I think it might be really close to how I feel about Consider Me, but Consider Me the whole different, So yeah, this is good. This is a he fought, So yeah, the next book I read, which is the last book in the series, which this book is taking everyone by storm. Everyone loves this book right now. This is probably the most heartbreaking book right now, and that is We Were For Me by Meg Ryan. This is book 5 and the final book in the Playing for Keeps series. This is about Claire Hunter and Emmett Brody. Basically, this is I will say, if you did not believe in love at first sight, I wouldn't recommend reading this book, because basically, this book, you don't really get to see much of the romance. You get to see when they met, and you get to kind of see when, basically, they're always, their timeline is very short when they got together to when they got married, because basically the whole thing, the whole part of this book is infertility. Basically, them fighting for their lives to get pregnant. I remember reading this and felt so bad because I felt really attached to them. And I ended up giving this 4.75. This is basically, if you know what infertility is, I definitely would check chicken wings, and definitely, if you deal with infertility, please do not read this book, or read a good half of this book, because you really get to see our female character. You really get to see what infertility does to you when you don't feel like enough, and you get basically to see our both of our characters feel defeated, feel like they're not worthy to be parents, and you get to see how you know and how they cope with that, how they deal with that. And this book is just sad. This book, for the good half of it. And then you finally get to see them having to do, because basically, and I will say that if you have infertility and you have been about to, like, not foster care, but you have, have, instead of doing adoption, I would definitely read the second half of it, because it does have adoption in it. It's a big, so that's how, they become parents. And a lot of spoiler. Why did I say that? But definitely check the trigger warnings. And definitely, if you deal with infertility, and not, I wouldn't recommend reading this book unless you're really like, you finally found your happy ending, or I wouldn't read, this book is sad. This book is like, it rips your heart out, and it makes you like want to like. I think I felt every single emotion during this book. I felt sad. I felt anger. I felt happiness. I felt sadness. I felt funny when the characters were to get, So yeah, this is a 4.75 for me. This is definitely one of my top. If I had to rank these stuff, let me get the other three books. I have the other three books over here, which I'm not upset, but like I'm kind of am. Because technically I read the first three books of the series on Kindle Unlimited, because they're all on Kindle Unlimited. And for my birthday, I was like, hey, I'm going to ask for, because this is a God tier series. I asked for my God tier series. I asked for the DC Star series. I asked for the Book and Play series. So, if I had to rate this series, it would probably be Consider Me, Fall With Me, and I will say they're all pretty close together. Like, I had to put these pencil days would both be. Like, they were definitely. I think my favorite one is Play With Me by Megan Matt. This is Garrett Anderson and Jimmy Bucket, which is Carter Bucket in the first book's sister. So yeah, this is if I had to rank them, which I would probably never have to, you know. Oops. So yeah, and then the next book I read, the book that I technically did read this read this physically, but I used my school library. I took it from the school. I checked it out from the school library, so I took it back. I think I read this book in like 2 days. I don't know how many days it took me. I think it took me a couple days, but like I don't know how to describe how I feel about this book, because I feel like if I had to describe Colin Hoover, yes, I read it ends with us and it starts with us, which I feel like this doesn't really relate to them. But the books I've read, the books I've read by Colin Hoover this year. I read the Slam series last year. I read the Slam series last year. This year was Slammed, Point of Retreat, and The School. Which has a whole series because it has. I feel like what Colin Hoover likes to do is basically she gives two characters that have ultimate connection, ultimate like the day they meet, the day they realize that they have chemistry and they but she puts either one of the characters is something that they can't be is the reason why they can't be together. Like one of the characters is one of the reasons why they can't be together. Because definitely in this, because this is Heartbroken. I didn't even tell you the title. This is Heartbroken by Colin Hoover. This is no. Heartbroken. This is about. I don't know if it's boy. I think it's. I don't know if it's boy. I'm just gonna say boy because I feel like that sounds Blair and Simon, basically, I don't, man, I feel like it takes me, like, I literally have another Colin Hoover book that I'm going to check back into the library because I don't think I'm just quite in the mood for it yet because I don't really like our characters. Because the whole reason I'm not reading is because I found out the reason why they can't be together right now. The reason, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's so, like, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put this down and then literally when I'm ready for that, I'll read it. But yeah, so basically, I feel like I really can't really describe how this is because this book was good. I feel like I feel mixed emotions because I feel like I liked it and didn't like it in the same time. I think the whole reason it's because it's a 3.5 star because the reason why I feel like yes there was always. Let me just read a synopsis to you. Read a synopsis to you. Okay. Moving, passionate, and unforgettable, Colin Hoover's novel follows two young adults from completely different backgrounds, embracing on Tilly's romance, unwanted of what the future holds. A childhood filled with poverty and neglect. Blair Grand family has her. Okay, my brain. The story has come back to me. Has finally had her hard-earned ticket out of Kentucky with a full ride to Penn State, but 2 months before she's finally free to change her life for the better, an unexpected death leaves her homeless and forced to spend the remainder of her summer in Texas with a father she barely knows. Devastated and time of patient first. No, everything quickly. Where has no time or patience for Simon, the well bonding guy next door. Yet the connection between them is too intense to ignore. But with their upcoming futures sending them into opposite ends of the country, the two decide to maintain only a casual summer fling. Too bad neither of them had any ideas that ripped current is about to drag both their hearts out to sea. I don't really know, and I feel like I was just looking at some of the reviews now, and I'm like, I don't know, I just feel like the reason why I feel like I feel like I should not tell you because it's a spoiler. But like I'm just like one of our oh no, I'll just say this. Our male main character, basically he had a bad past, and something happens that messes up the past. That is the reason that that's the first breakup basically. And I've always said that her books need to be longer. They need to be at least 400. Not 500, but at least 400 or more. So I feel like we're so like, I feel like it's not insta love, but it kind of does feel like insta love. I feel like the only ones that really could, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, but like, I don't know, I got very frustrated at why I was just like I love Colin Hoover and I like her writing. But I just feel like last time the whole reason I stopped reading Colin Hoover was because her writing. I feel like every book felt like the same. I think the whole reason I read Ugly Love and The Midnight like pretty back to back, which I've reread Ugly Love 3 times and I've gave it a lower rating every time. I gave it 4 the first time because I listened to an audio. I think I gave it 3. The last time I gave it 2.5. And I don't think I even made it through November. Made it through November 9th, which is crazy thinking that was it's just like, you know. So yeah, I think it is 3.5. I feel like I didn't give you a good review on this book, but like, it's just like, so yeah. It was good. 3.75, 3.5, 3.25, And the last book I read was Red Zone by Paige Ryan. This is book 2 in the PCU series. This is the second book to the next book to Broken Play. This is about Carter, Hayes, and Lila hitting. Basically, this is Coach's daughter. Lila is basically the Coach's daughter, which coaches Carter's coach, obviously. I remember reading Broken Play, and I remember because Lila is Madison's best friend, who's in the first book's the main character. Basically, like I said, Coach's daughter. Basically, she's the team's. I don't even know how. Basically, there's basically ultimate attraction. Ultimate attraction pretty easily. You get to see them. And basically, I will say, if you have OCD, I will say our family character Lila does have OCD. And I feel like. And I don't really know. I enjoy this. This is cute. But, like, I feel like the way that the way that they were like okay, I knew the Fur.com was going to be the reason. I knew the Fur what the comic was going to be like. I knew that. Like that's normal. Like the whole reason they've always said they couldn't be together. Like they've always said, and I don't know. I definitely got those goody feelings sometimes, and I know like the stupid things he would do, but I don't know. I felt attached because basically Carter feels basically he was raised in foster care his whole life, and basically. So yeah, I don't know how to describe. I just felt like I don't know how to describe it, but I like this book. I gave it 4.5. I feel like to be a quick, fast-paced book. This is good. For a sport horror, it's quick, fast-paced, it's emotional, it has emotional devastation, all of that. So, but I just didn't get the feelings like I did when I read Broken Plate. Okay, this is different. A different This is a different kind of whatever. So yeah, 4.5. So yeah. So those are all the books that I read this month. I feel like this one was good. It was had good ratings, but I feel like next month I'm really hoping. I think I'm gonna probably read. If you see my wrap up next month and see that's probably gonna be most of like novellas. I'm planning on reading Elsie Silver's novella and then the new novellas from the Amazon originals. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will head on to the next one. Bye!